കടപ്പുറത്ത് ഭയങ്കര പരിപാടികൾ നടത്തേണ്ട സമയമാണ്. എല്ലാ പിള്ളേരും ആ പരിപാടികളൊക്കെ കാണാൻ പോയേക്കണേണ് അവിടെ. അപ്പം ഞങ്ങളും ഇത് പണിയൊക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഉച്ചയ്ക്ക് പോകാൻ നിൽക്കണമായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോഴാണ് കടൽ വെള്ളം കയറി എന്നാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്.
എന്തോ ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത വരാൻ പോകണമെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാകുന്ന വിധത്തിൽ വെള്ളത്തിൻ്റെ അളവ് ക്രമാതീതമായിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ പൊങ്ങുകയും തിരകൾ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും ഒക്കെ മാറാനുണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
പിന്നെ നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ ഒരു എടുത്ത കുറച്ചൊന്നും വലിയൊരു വെള്ളം വന്നിങ്ങാട്. അപ്പം തന്നെ എല്ലാവരും പറഞ്ഞു ഇതെന്തോ പ്രശ്നം ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. ഞങ്ങളപ്പോൾ അവിടെ നിന്ന് ഇവിടം വരെ ഓടി എത്തിയപ്പോഴത്തേനുണ്ടല്ലോ ఇవ్వడం వరేం కడలెత్తి
సముద్రం లోపల పోతుంది. ఏం సముద్రం లోపల పోతుందని అదర లోపల పోయి మూడు కిలోమీటర్ల పైన పోయింది. పోయినాక మళ్ళీ బర్రను వచ్చేస్తుంది సముద్రం.
Something like this never happened before. A calamity of such nature was not witnessed by people before.
We never knew that it was tsunami.
എല്ലാം ഒഴുകണ് കിടന്നുണ്ട്. ആൾക്കാർ അത് പിടിക്കണം ഇത് പിടിക്കണം അങ്ങനെ സംഭവങ്ങളും.
And they do not know where to go. Everybody started to run away from the sea. They left every belongings and all the kids and queens, they were running.
I remember a child whose both parents died, and she would refuse to go near us seacoast for months. It was not just loss of property, it was not just loss of livelihood, equipments, houses, but the whole mindset of people was shattered.
One of the worst natural disasters in living memory, the tsunami devastated the entire fishing community along the Indian coastline. The response to this tragedy was overwhelming, with the outpouring of sympathy and aid unequaled during the initial relief efforts. Caritas India, a humanitarian organization known for its emergency and disaster relief work, was one among them. It responded to the crisis immediately by launching the largest grant program in its history, spanning across hundreds of villages in Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, Kerala and Andhra Pradesh.
When tsunami occurred in 2004, the immediate response was the relief services that Koilon Social Service Society and Caritas India and all the agencies rendered together to uplift the poorest of the poor, the people in the coastal area.
We started to help them by giving blankets, food, mosquito coil and water. The very immediate needs have been addressed.
The worst affected were the fishermen who had lost everything in the disaster. Many of them were utterly disillusioned and didn't know how they would survive.
Their boats were destroyed and nets, everything taken over by the tsunami waves. So Caritas helped to buy new boats or to construct new boats and nets, everything.
Before tsunami, most fishing communities used to live in thatched homes like these, which were washed away by the waves. Caritas embarked on the mission of constructing new houses for the communities, emphasizing on their participation in the process.
మేము వాళ్ళు డిజైన్ చేసినటువంటిది ఒక ఇల్లు అనేది మెజర్మెంట్స్ని బట్టి చూస్తే ఒక ఫ్యామిలీ, ఒక భార్య భర్త తర్వాత ఒక ఇద్దరు పిల్లలు ఆ ఇంట్లో జీవించేదానికి వాళ్ళు ప్లాన్ చేయడం జరిగింది. ఆ విస్తీర్ణం కూడా తక్కువ శాతం ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి స్థలాలు లేనందువలన గ్రామస్తులందరం కలిసి పూనుకొని స్థలాన్ని కొనుగోలు చేసి ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి కూడా 12 గదుల స్థలాన్ని కేటాయించి ఆ 12 గదుల స్థలంలో ఈ సిమెంట్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్తో కట్టబడేటువంటి ఇళ్ళని నిర్మించడం జరిగింది.
The program, implemented in partnership with the government, provided safe, disaster-resilient homes to thousands of people.
అది చిన్న గుడిసె, అది సునామీ వచ్చి పడిపోయింది. దాంట్లో ఉంటాకి ఇది లేదు. ఆ తర్వాత వచ్చి మన వాళ్ళు అందరూ వచ్చి ఇక్కడ పేర్లు రాసి ఇల్లు కట్టించారు. ఇల్లు కూడా బాగా నీట్గా కట్టించారు. ఇక నాకు కిచెన్ మొత్తం ఉన్నాయి. సో ఉంటాకి కూడా బాగా హ్యాపీగా పొనుకుంటాయి. కానీ 2 మంచాలు పడుతున్నాయి.
Of those affected by the tsunami, it was the plight of women survivors that was most dismal. Many of them were displaced and were bereft of their sole possessions. Hoping that they would find comfort and unity, Caritas India organized women into self-help groups and provided assistance to them in the form of livelihood skills. This proved to be an anchor of strength and support for their future.
ആഴ്ചയിൽ 300 പീസ് നൈറ്റി മാത്രം തയ്ച്ചു കൊടുക്കും. പിന്നെ ബ്ലൗസ്, സാരി ബ്ലൗസ്, ചുരിദാറൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങൾ ഇവിടെ തയ്ച്ചു കൊടുക്കും. ഈ 2.5 മണിക്കൂറാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ വീടുകളിൽ നിന്ന് കൂടുമ്പോൾ ആ കൂട്ടായ്മ ഒരു എല്ലാം പങ്കുവെക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്. അത്യാവശ്യം വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ സംഘത്തിനെ അറിയിക്കുക, പ്രസിഡന്റ് സെക്രട്ടറി ഒപ്പിട്ട് എല്ലാവരും അംഗീകരിക്കണമെങ്കിൽ അപ്പം തന്നെ 10,000 രൂപ, ഇപ്പം 1 ലക്ഷം രൂപ വരെ ഒരു സംഘം കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അത് ഏറ്റവും വലിയൊരു കാര്യമാണെന്നേ പറയുള്ളൂ.
It was important to rehabilitate and rebuild the lives of tsunami victims, but it was equally critical to ensure their safety in terms of future disasters. Caritas India, in association with Indian National Centre for Ocean Information Services, set up early warning systems in the coastal areas to collect weather information and disseminate the same to the coastal communities, which would help them during an impending disaster.
INCOIS deployed a wave radar buoy which has capacity to disseminate, to collect the information around 25 nautical miles in the ocean. And they also installed a data receiving center at PMSSS Pondicherry.
And our duty is to deploy the buoy and monitor the buoy and get the information and pass on this information to the public through radio addressing system, through TV channels, through newspaper and public addressing system. This experience also is very much seen in all the disaster that has happened after that. The Nisha cyclone, Neelam cyclone, Jal cyclone, and all the cyclone. And the major disaster after that took place was Thane cyclone. In all this cyclone, no casualty took place in the seashore.
Whenever a disaster struck, it was the people in the communities who would be the first to respond on the scene. Based on this concept, Caritas India launched its community-based disaster preparedness program to enhance the community's ability to predict, respond to, and cope with the effect of a disaster. The first step in CBDP was mobilizing village volunteers into groups called task forces.
பேரிடர் காலங்கள் எப்படி வந்து கிராமத்தை பார்க்க, நம்மளை பார்க்க, நம்ம சமூகத்தை பார்க்க அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து சிபிடிபி அதை சமுதாயம் சார்ந்த பேரிடர் மீட்பு குழு அமைச்சர் ஒவ்வொரு கிராமங்கள்லையும்.
They were trained on the various stages in disaster management, from rescue operations to providing first aid and gathering resources for rehabilitation. They also played an important role in mapping their village, identifying the resources, escape routes and hazards to carry out rescue operations in the event of disasters.
So in the process of our training and development, we had experienced two more disasters. One is the Laila cyclone, the other one is Thane. Of course, fishermen were affected, but they were prepared. Earlier announcements were given, so they were prepared, and their loss was very much minimized, and they were safe. That is one of the examples that would give how these trainings really help the community.
To help a community face disaster is a challenge that requires empowerment. Caritas India focused on building resilient communities and instilled in them the confidence that they can help themselves through hard times. This laid the foundation of its community-based disaster risk reduction program.
We divided this entire village into 20 families, nearby families. So any problem amongst the 20 families there, they have to be solved by themselves. As this village neighborhood communities here, they take the different issues and they bring to the notice of the district administration. And the district administration, they start to tackle it.
Through this process, the people were also surprised to know the resources in their villages. They were also surprised to know there are so many ways of handling a disaster.
The mangrove forests form an inseparable part of the coastal ecosystem, serving as the nature's protective infrastructure against disasters. As a part of the disaster risk reduction program, the communities living along the coast were given awareness about the valuable role of mangroves in disaster mitigation and were given training on mangrove planting.
இந்த சுனாமிக்கு அப்புறமா மக்களுக்கு பயிற்சி கொடுக்கறது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் கடற்கரை முகத்துவார பகுதிகளில் அதிகமாக அலையாத்தி காடுகளை உருவாக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் மக்களுக்கு பாதுகாப்பாக இருக்கும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு சிந்தனை எங்கள் மத்தியில் எழுந்ததுனால இதுக்காக நாங்கள் காரிதாஸை அணுகும்போது காரிதாஸ் எங்களுக்கு நிதி உதவி கொடுத்தாங்க. நிதி உதவி கொடுத்ததன் அடிப்படையில் கிட்டத்தட்ட நாங்கள் ஒரு 6 பஞ்சாயத்துகளில் காரங்காட்டிலேருந்து துவங்கி மணக்குடி கொடிப்பங்கு பஞ்சாயத்து வரைக்குமான கடல் முகத்துவார பகுதிகளில் நாங்கள் அலையாத்தி காடுகளை உருவாக்கியிருக்கிறோம். இது முழுக்க மக்களோட பணி.
கண்ணாச்செடி இப்போ போட்டதுக்கு பின்னாடி அதில் இறால் மீன் இதெல்லாம் தங்கி வளர்ச்சி கொடுக்கறதுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி சுனாமி வந்தாலும் மக்களுக்கு நல்ல பாதுகாப்பு கொடுக்கறதுக்கு ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு அமைப்பாக இருக்குது.
For any good development program to sustain, leveraging partnership with government is a must. By linking the task forces formed as a part of Tsunami with the district administration, Caritas has successfully proved that the communities are not simply beneficiaries, they are partners in disaster risk reduction and the local development process.
All the task forces were immediately mainstreamed or linked to the whole participatory development process of the village. So they were very much involved in identifying the problems in the villages, taking it to the Grama Panchayats.
10-40 വർഷത്തോളമായി കുളം ഇവിടെ ഉള്ളത്. 13 വർഷത്തോളം ഇത് ഉപയോഗശൂന്യമായി കിടക്കുകയായിരുന്നു. കുടിവെള്ള ക്ഷാമം അനുഭവിക്കുന്ന ഒരു പഞ്ചായത്ത് കൂടിയാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഈ നായരമ്പലം ഗ്രാമപഞ്ചായത്ത്. അപ്പോൾ ആളുകൾ ഇത് കുടിക്കുവാൻ വരെ ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരുന്ന കുളമായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾക്ക് ആ സ്ഥിതിയിലേക്ക് തന്നെ ആക്കിയെടുക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഇവിടെയുള്ള ആളുകളുടെ പ്രയത്നം ഇതിൽ ഒരുപാട് ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്.
5 വയസ്സുള്ള ഒരു 80 വയസ്സുള്ള ആളുകൾ വരും ഇതിൽ പങ്കെടുത്ത് 100-200 പേര് പങ്കെടുത്താണ് ഇത് കുളം നല്ല രൂപത്തിലാക്കിയത്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ ഈ കുളം കൊണ്ട് നമുക്കൊരു 50-52 വീട്ടുകാർക്ക് പ്രയോജനമുണ്ട്.
Today, in almost all the villages, glimpses of development are visible in terms of better roads and bridges, improved education, health and sanitation.
Many funding agencies came during the time of tsunamis, but they just disappeared. Caritas India stood with us, stood with the community.
I'm sure the effort made and the investment made will not be lost. it will remain there as to the since it has been linked to the fabric of the village administration.
Even today, any disaster comes, definitely we are sure this coast will not be very much affected. No casualty could happen in that area. That is a big achievement we can say. And all this disaster has proved it, and people know how to face it.
Today, a decade after the disaster, the sea looks calm and benign. The scars left by the tsunami are fading, being replaced by the warm smiles of people along the coast. These smiles speak volumes about their long journey to recovery. It talks about their newfound unity, their hopes and dreams, and their collective courage to face adversities in the future.